Young female blind artist helps a man with his sculpture, unaware he's a single dad billionaire who will take the shape of grace. Rain had just begun to fall when Alara touched the edge of the cold bronze. She wasn't supposed to be there, at least not according to the gruff security guard who had warned her earlier. But the half-formed sculpture, veiled behind scaffolding and tarp in the town's newly opened public art garden, had whispered something to her. Not in words. In silence. In shape. Alara ran her fingers gently along the torso of the abstract figure, stopping at an awkward indentation near its side. Her fingertips, like trained eyes, read the bronze as if it were braille. "He's trying too hard," she whispered. From a distance, the man hiding in the shadows heard her. His breath caught. She didn't know anyone was watching. Alara had been blind since she was 6, but she'd never stopped seeing beauty. It lived in sound, scent, and especially texture. At 26, she was already a celebrated local sculptor, working mostly in clay, rarely showing her own work, and never accepting payment. Art should speak for the soul, not the bank, she always said. What she didn't know was that the unfinished bronze she touched belonged to someone whose soul had long gone silent. Cole Winslow, billionaire by circumstance and sculptor by secret, stood frozen behind the lattice of scaffolding. No one in his empire knew about the sculpture. Not his board. Not his assistants. Not even Lily, his 5-year-old daughter and entire world. Sculpting had been his only way of surviving the grief after losing his wife to cancer. He'd stopped sleeping, buried himself in building art that could carry his sorrow. But lately, every piece felt wrong. Too hard. Too calculated. Too lifeless. And then this blind stranger had walked straight to his sculpture, and told the truth no one else dared to. "Do you sculpt?" he asked, stepping forward. Alara turned to the voice. "I try." He extended his hand instinctively, then remembered. "I'm Cole," he said instead. "Alara." She smiled and ran her fingers along the edge again. "This piece, it wants to be something more fluid. Right now it's trying to remember what love felt like." Cole blinked. That was exactly what he'd wanted it to be. He didn't explain. Instead, he asked, "Would you help me finish it?" Over the next 3 weeks, Alara came every afternoon. She didn't ask many questions. She didn't want to know whose piece it was, or why it was there. She only wanted to feel it evolve. Cole found himself rearranging his entire schedule, delaying meetings, missing flights, to be there when she came. She guided his hands, helped him understand how to soften the posture, how to let sadness curve into hope. He never told her the truth. About who he was. About the fortune. About Lily. Until one day, she brought a small clay figure she'd sculpted. "I made this, the way I imagine your daughter looks when she laughs." Cole's heart thudded. He hadn't mentioned Lily. Not once. "How?" "I don't know," Alara said softly. "But there's this quiet joy in the sculpture's new lines. I figured she must be your light." And then she left the figure with him. A little girl with arms outstretched, head tilted to the sky. He stared at it for hours after she left. The art garden unveiled the completed sculpture the next month. People from across the state came to admire it. News outlets wrote glowing articles. But Cole didn't care about the press. He was looking for Alara in the crowd. She didn't come. He went to her studio. Empty. He asked around. A neighbor handed him a note. "Thank you for letting me help you feel again. You didn't owe me anything. And I didn't want to stay long enough for you to feel like you did. Please remember, beauty is meant to be given, not owed." Cole sat on the edge of her studio bench and wept. 3 months passed. Winter came. And then, one snowy evening, Lily was building a snow angel in the park when she stopped and pointed. "Daddy, look." There, in the corner of a local holiday market, sat Alara, hands dusted in clay, working on small angel figurines. Cole walked up slowly. "I was hoping I'd find you again," he said. Alara smiled before he spoke his name. "I know your voice, Cole. And I know your silence." He laughed, nervously. "I owe you everything." "No. You owe yourself grace. That's all I ever wanted for you. But I want more than just to finish a sculpture. I want you in Lily's life. In mine." Alara's lips parted, trembling. "Why me?" "Because you didn't see my wealth. You saw my heart. Even when I didn't." Lily ran up and hugged Alara's legs without hesitation. And Alara knelt into the snow, arms open. They married the next spring in a quiet garden filled with sculptures. The one Alara helped finish stood tall in the center, renamed The Shape of Grace. No plaque bore the artist's name. Just a single engraved sentence. "Sometimes, the ones who cannot see are the ones who help us see the most."